Welcome back. I'm Nerd Dad, and this is episode 15 of our Factorio playthrough. And we are going to start working on trying to get ourselves some robots, but we've got a bunch of things to do before that. And for this episode, we're going to work on getting ourselves some batteries. We need the batteries, and we're going to need some electric engines eventually, and that's how we're going to get it all done. But right now, our focus is going to be, actually, I just want to check a couple things. Our focus is going to be on getting the batteries up and running. And I think we're going to need a couple things at this point. We've got a long line of water we're going to want to run. And we've got a bunch of other piping needs. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to build ourselves a quick little pipe factory down here. And if we were to, kind of similar to how we put in this rail line here, this is where we're building our railways. I'm going to build a little pipe factory in here because I don't think we're going to need to run anything across here like this. And so I'm okay with filling this front little piece here. I guess I could build it up here, but well, why don't we do that? We'll just build it up right in here. Okay, so if we're just make sure we got enough room for a line, why don't we just make that the corner and go kind of like this. And we can just bring a line in like here. Oops. And give ourselves a splitter here. And what I'm going to want to do is just make sure that we even out those lines again after we kind of steal off that line. So we're going to do kind of that. And we're going to need those on that side. We're going to want one out there, one in there, two in there like that. Oh, those are outs. And we're going to want a splitter right there. And we're going to want a box here and there. And one more inserter there. And what we've done is we've basically made ourselves a straight and curved pipe little factory here. So I always call it, I've mentioned factory a few times, and I use the words interchangeably. Sometimes I call these factories even though they're assembly machines, but typically when I put a little group together and it does something specific for me, it's like a little factory. So what this is this one's going to become our curved pipe, pipe to ground, and this one's going to be our straight. And what's going to happen here is these are going to build, and they're going to help build this. We were going to limit this to, we only need basically, at most a couple hundred straight pipe at a time. And we're going to ask for 100 of these curved as well. It's the curves we actually really chew through. It's the straights we don't really need that many of. Actually, that should work, I think. Yeah, we may need one more right there. Just kind of eyeballing, see if I might be able to cheat with one right there. Nope, couldn't do it. I thought maybe I could just sneak one more in there. And how are we doing? Is it coming? Oh, we got a little bit just a little shine on that one as well. So there we go. He's going, why are we getting not enough straight pipe quickly enough? There we go. So it takes a little bit of time for those to build. We'll come back and pick these up. We are going to need a bunch of them. I think we'll grab a little bit of extra here and build some things while I'm trying to make a bit of a water run here. I think we're going to need. So I might build some in our bags really quickly as well. Just kind of double up on the process. Okay. Hey man, where's the car? The car's up there. Okay. And we're going to need a few other things too. We're going to want, let's make sure we got enough resources in our bags. We're going to want 15 of those, and we got 5 already. That should be good. We are going to want some tanks. That's for 5. We only need like 3. And I got a feeling we're going to need a bunch more transport belt because we have a couple of long runs of transport belt we're going to have to do to get up to where we're working. So let's just grab a bunch of that. Okay, I think we got everything we need. Either being built or in our bag. Well, we got all these. That's weird. Oh, because we picked them up. That's funny. I'd forgotten that I was picking all those up. We'll probably have to just toss them. In fact, now I'm feeling really dumb because I could have used them in the thing. Oh, you dummy. It's alright. We're okay. Okay, let's go for a bit of a drive. Get back up here where our oil is being produced. And let's get this online here. Okay, so I got a few things we got to do here. First of all, I don't want to park in there because that's where I'm thinking I'm going to build. So I want to get our batteries being built, sulfuric acid being built. all sorts of things. But I want to make sure that I leave myself a little bit of room here in case I want to sort of double up my output here for plastic. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of a zone here and say, okay, don't go beyond there. That's sort of my little drawing in the sand for myself, just in case I get over that way. I'm hoping I won't. I'm hoping I'll stay over here somewhere. But we never know. And if that's the truth, then I want to come about here. And maybe we do something like this. Okay, 3, 4, 5. And I kind of want to try a couple of new things that I usually don't do here. I'm kind of goofing around with some ideas. All right, we got flight, so let's get some construction robots. We're going to want those. So we're going to get sulfuric acid here first. And the way that works is water and sulfur. So we're going to do a kind of like we did in the output here with all these up and down pipes, you know, these tunnel to grounds. We're going to run a bunch of those. And so if we just copy this across so we don't make any goof ups, we can see that we're going to need to sort of jump this over and back sort of thing. I'll just do an over and back all the way. And oops, I don't get the last one pasted. There we go. And then we're going to want to, I don't have any streets right at the moment. That's okay. Do the same thing on this side. And get ready for that petroleum gas we're going to want. And somewhere here we're going to have to bring down this petroleum gas. So we're just going to have something that's not going to work for us. How about this one? Is this one going to line up? Yeah, that one lines up. Sometimes I just do it by what lines up and what doesn't. A little bit off. That's okay. That'll work. Okay, and yeah, we're not going to have straight pipe for a bit, so we don't need to finish connecting those. But once we have that come out, what's going to happen? Hey, we're taking damage. Why are we taking damage? Ooh, I'm thinking there's spitters about. So, because our wall took damage, you know, you would think to see bugs here, but when you start seeing damage on your guns and you know you're back from the wall, there's a good chance you've got spitters. That looks like a spitter right there. So if you haven't played before, what happens is these bugs will keep rushing, but there's these other ones that'll kind of stop back here. And so while the guns are killing all the ones running in, these spitters will start lobbing in rounds and kind of hurting you. So we got to keep our eye on that just because we might have to go down there and do some repairs while the spitters are active until we get these robots that might do our repairing for us. So we just got to keep our eyeball on that. And what I'm thinking about here, and I can't say that I've actually ever done, I'm pondering here for a second, is that I don't usually just pull the sulfur right across to sort of something on the other side, but the only thing we really use sulfur for is this, I believe. We don't use sulfur in explosives, do we? I gotta go do a little bit of research here real quick. Let's go look at explosives. Oh, we do use sulfur for that. Okay. Well, if we're gonna have to pull off, I was thinking we could get away without it, but if we're gonna need to pull off this track for anything else, then we're gonna want to make sure that we have the ability to send it somewhere else. Okay, so we'll just put the sulfur on here like this. Whoops. And I'm going to want that just to end right there for now. And we are going to put our sulfur on We're going to put our factory right there like this. And we'll just pull right off that line. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off the corners kind of like this. And that. And oh, that's not great. We're gonna have to do a bunch of jumping here just because we want at least one's feeding one sort of is the idea on this, which means we gotta do a little bit of extra jumping along here. Actually that's not right because it's gonna be water, isn't it? These are gonna be water, I believe. Yep. Okay, so these are water, so we're just gonna do it like this. A lot of our pipe to ground being used up here, but that's okay. We're gonna have lots by the time we get down to that little factory thing we built, and we're gonna want water to come off there. We will have to, if we're going to send it out of here, we're going to need a tunnel, kind of like that, because we're going to need to put one to there, and that will be our water coming in, I believe, right? Once we get all our stuff figured out. And the other thing I was thinking to myself, is that I would like to be able to follow this coal line with the pipe, just so that we don't have a bunch of pipe out in the middle of nowhere. And the reason why I like to do that is when you have pipe out in the middle of nowhere, we're going to be driving our car around, and you can't see it, like especially when it's dark like this. So it's nice to have it against something, because then your tendency is to, oh, I might have to slow down here. Now, I'm not saying that's going to hold true. Best bet for us is actually put lights all the way along, but yeah, not sure we'll be doing that. So we'll see. Let's get flamethrowers. I just got a kind of a craving to, flamethrower stuff. Okay. Just kind of gotta cheat this up like that. Okay, and then what we can do is we're just gonna kind of run along here like this. Nice thing about these pipes to ground is you can just kind of do a quick little run like this, and it will just keep kind of reversing itself automatically, which makes it nice and easy to run long stretches like this. And this way we don't end up with one great big long pipe, that we can't drive past. So I just want to go around the bottom of this, kind of like, this is going to be where I'm going to break my little rule that I was just doing, because I got to get over here somewhere. So hopefully we don't drive into these too often. And I wonder if we can just cheat this straight down kind of like this somewhere. Let's see where our water pump goes. If we put it right there, will that work? That's about as close as it's getting, eh? So, oh, look at that. That's a nice tight fit. Let's grab ourselves a bunch of these real quickly. And the nice thing about those is they build really fast. So they build really fast, so we can kind of just connect. And there's water. We just kind of rip that in, and then all we have to do is kind of follow this back. And where we don't see water, we know we've got to add a straight pipe. So it's pretty easy. And we can follow it on, run on the track here, save ourselves a little bit of time. So we should have pretty good connection most of the way until we get down to the next curve down here where we sort of sent it south. There we go. And we'll just fix that. And there's our water, and there we go. We've got water over here. And we're going to use water for all sorts of good things over here. But we're going to get this one connected and just kind of pipe water in all the way along here. And we're going to need water. Well, we need a bunch of straight pipe on this side because we're going to kind of do both of these, kind of like we did the other one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And let's get logistics robots. And I'm just going to actually run this one just kind of like that. And there we go. So we wanted to make sure that we didn't, cross up any of our lines. And so far, so good. I'm not seeing, it's looking good. We've got water coming in where water needs to go. We've got petroleum coming in. We haven't crossed our lines. That's all fantastic. We don't have power over here yet, so we're going to need some power. So why don't we get that going? We really don't need power too much because, as long as, that kind of touches everything, so we can kind of cheat these a bit. And I can actually do something like this if I wanted to, where I can kind of jump in little grids. I got this thing about where I like to do it like this just because it looks nicer, but yeah, let's do it different. We're trying to do different things this time, so let's do it like this. And it's one square I want. There we go. And let's just put one right there for now, but I might need to move that one. And there we go, a bunch of sulfur coming out. You see how fast it just kind of blurp, it's there. We need to get the sulfuric gas up and running. So, oh, not like that, you don't. There you go. We can see we're already feeding in for the sulfuric gas, but we're going to need some iron plate. So this is where things are going to get a little bit goofy on us. What we're going to do on this one is, and this is kind of going to be net new for me, often I'll feed the plate into the back as well. I kind of split that line, but we're going to do something a little different here. I think we're going to just run this kind of like this. Oh, we got past there. That's good. And we will just kind of chop something into our plastic line here like this. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to bring a couple lines in here. We're going to bring both copper and iron ore in here. So we're just going to kind of put them right next to this line. Got another little sort of a north-south bus going here now. And this is why we wanted lots and lots of transport belt. We got a long run to go here. It's going to just take quite a bit of time to run this. You can see how far we've got to kind of go with this. Whoops. And we're going to actually have to even go past this plastic point here, so we're going to just kind of jump that, and we've got to come all the way down here. So this one here that I'm on right now will actually be our copper line. And we're just going to kind of bump that. I should have gone off this one. There like that. And then we're going to want another one right there, like, I believe that's how we do it. And then 2, I believe. 1, 2. And is that going to work if I put a splitter right there? I feel like that's one off. Let's just run this down so we got a better visual. No, that's in the right place. It just wasn't looking right. The old eyes were playing tricks. And I want to pull off the center as well because we're going to send a lot of material up here. Well, I say that, but it's not really true. We're going to pull a lot of material to start, but then we don't really use a lot of copper. You know, if you look at what the battery requirements are, they're basically 1 and 1. And for building the sulfuric gas, it's 1. So we're only going to be pulling, for every battery, we're only going to be pulling off 2 iron plates. So it's not like we're going to tax the system to death here. We're just going to stretch it a little. How about that? And then we're going to want another one right there. Just want to kind of make sure we've got enough like that. And let's just get this line down. Let's try to keep our lines caught up with us here. And I think when I was running down here, I noticed how far back our greens are. We may as well get those caught up eventually at some point, so I'll have to think about that. But let's get this other line going up here. We're going to want this done as quickly as we can as well. So I think we'll just stand on the line. I love when you're kind of going the way the line used to go because you can build them all. Whoa! Except when you do that. Run the line right in. Good thing we were well ahead of the materials. Alright, there we go. And just kind of jump that like that. And there we go again. And just kind of get this all the way up here. Click, 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 click. Really is hard on the eyes when you run like that. And then we're going to want to bring this copper line in like this. And so what we've just done is we're going to do sort of a double pull off this ore line, which is iron ore line, which is going to be the top one here, because this needs ore and the sulfur. So we're going to do this, kind of like this a little bit. I'm going to goof this one up a bit though. I'm going to do something like this. And what that's going to allow us to do is we can then pull sulfuric gas off this way, because we don't want to just feed the sulfuric gas into the next factory. It's similar to why we need the sulfur itself for explosives and things. We actually need the sulfuric gas later for our uranium mining. So we're going to want to make sure that we've got some in tanks, and I'm going to build them right here. And the reason why I want to build them over here is I'm actually thinking I might bring a train in here at some point that will pick up the gas and take it to wherever we're mining our uranium. So you want to be kind of thinking ahead. Like most things in this game, you know, once you kind of get used to what you need, you want to start thinking ahead to, oh, okay, I'm going to need that later on. Otherwise, you find yourself building and you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't built that there because now I got to build in it. So, you know, if you're new to the game, yes, you will likely find yourself rebuilding a lot until you kind of get used to what the flow is. I mean, you could sit here and stare at this tech tree all day and try to figure out how to put it together, but until you've gone through a couple passes and made messes of it, it's really the best way to learn is just, oh, okay, don't do that next time, and just, you know, build a secondary system for whatever you need. So you kind of get a bunch of extra stuff, but it's okay. It's not going to hurt you. You'll still get to rock it. Don't panic. Never panic about any of it. It's all easily recoverable. So, and there is no perfect system. Well, I'm sure I've seen some people build some systems that I'd call pretty close to perfect. I've seen some beautiful systems out there. None that I've built, I would say. There are some very, very bright people out there playing this game. I will defer to their magnificence. So the other thing we want to do when we get robots is we want to have these character logistical slots. So what's going to happen is when we pull up our E here, later on we're going to get some slots in the middle. They're going to allow us to both ask for things and get rid of things. They're called trash slots. So we're going to want both of those, which are these top two left items. So we're going to want those. So there's a bunch of beautiful stuff coming our way. And so it'll be nice by the time we get robots to have all that, you know, logic in place for ourselves. So we definitely want to have that. Now we're going to just put, I got to think about this just for a second here. There we go. We're going to want 2 outs, and kind of, we're going to mirror the blues. You can see up above we're looking at where those other blues are, and we're just mirroring them. And the reason for that is we've got to bring, I don't know why I'm doing that, because I was thinking I had to bring in more gas, but I don't. Oh, you know what? Have I faux pas? I faux pas, didn't I? I did faux pas. Oh, I built this in the wrong place. So as I was saying, Don't worry if you goof up, because it's all fixable. And boy, did I goof up. I really kind of blew this, didn't I? What was I thinking? What were you thinking, man? Well, you know what the great news is? All we have to do is this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to switch these around, and it's going to look really strange because basically what we're saying is our output's going to be that way, but we're actually going to output our batteries on this side. So I goofed, but it's okay. I was trying something new with bringing these two thick lines in, because typically I do all sorts of splitting and stuff. But this will work, I believe. So we'll find out. It should work. And you know what? We didn't. We built those pipe factories, and we might actually get away with not having to use them, which is going to be strange. We'll need the pipe at some point, so I'm not too worried about it. These are going to be batteries, and we're going to basically just do this, and you'll see some batteries starting to spit out here. That's basically where we are. I said we're getting batteries, but we're not getting batteries because I haven't finished hooking up the sulfuric gas yet on all fronts. So there's our sulfuric gas being pumped in now, because we've got that hooked up. And we're just going to come over here and go kind of like this, and one straight pipe and pipe around, and there we go. Now we're shipping it in, and now we should see some batteries kick out of this side. There we go. There's batteries. So if we're for the players that haven't played, what we're trying to actually do is we're actually trying to get ourselves to a point where we can build these things called flying robot frames. So we need these for all our robots. And they take a couple of batteries, and they're going to take electrical engines. So we need to still build our electrical engines. We're going to do that next time. And once we basically have those electrical engines, you can see we've already got the rest of the resources for building these robot frames. We might actually do that. I'm kind of debating where we're going to do that. I usually mix it up, because we're going to end up bringing this battery line all the way back down to join our other line. So actually, let's do that while we kind of run down there. Because when we get to, I believe, I just got to find it, and I can never remember where we get that from. Where do we get, everybody's yelling, you're looking for the yellow science packs, they come with, and I'm going, yeah, I don't remember. Where do we get yellow science packs? I'm going to have to do a little bit of clicking here. There we go. Advanced electronics. So if we look at these yellow science packs, you can see they're going to take batteries and these blue processing units and speed modules and all sorts of things. Well, one of those is batteries. So we know that we need to get the batteries back down south, because in this zone here, we're going to need these red circuits to build the blue circuits, and speed modules and all sorts of things, which we're going to probably do down here. So we may as well get our batteries brought all the way back down here, because we're going to need them anyways for a bunch of stuff we're going to do down here, which likely means we're going to build our robot frames in around here, because this is where our engines are. So maybe our frames are being built up here or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So let's get those batteries down, and that'll kind of be the end of this. I think we're going to just we'll just bring them down, and instead of doing a jump across there, I think we're just actually going to run it right down here. I think we got space, right? Let me just kind of check our map. Yeah, we got lots of space. So, yeah, it's kind of, again, it's we're going to waste a bunch of batteries getting ourselves this line full, but it's okay. And if we want to, we could even double up this line. I'm not going to recommend we double this line until maybe we get further down here. And because we're not sure how far we need to go down here, we're just going to go to there. And that's good. We're going to basically just kind of match up what we did with the plastic line. So that was episode 15. We got batteries. It took us a little bit, cajoling some stuff here, getting some water over here. And you can see we built this lovely little, whoops, let's just get our trash slots ready. Oh, why don't we get some light in here too? That would be helpful. We can actually see what we're doing. So I just do that. Yeah, so we've, we basically, we're already thinking ahead to how we're going to get some sulfuric acid out of here. We've, we've started using up a lot of our petroleum gas. We'll see that we're kind of taxing that probably. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going downward now until we get these batteries backlogged. Yeah, it's starting to slowly creep its way down. The bad news is we've got to start dealing with this yellow here. And actually, I want to just check something real quick. We're going to need to move to advanced oil processing really quickly. It's a quick way for us to bleed off these tanks. And I'll show you how we're going to do that. So next time, I think what we will do is just a little bit of cleanup. And I think what we'll do right now is we're just going to switch our research so we don't forget. And what we're going to want to do is start thinking about how advanced oil processing works, and start thinking about how we're going to start using up all this oil instead of just wasting it by throwing it into petroleum products. Now, eventually we're going to do that anyways, but for right now we want to kind of get that converted into, this petroleum gas, so we're not falling further and further behind, which it's doing very quickly. So, thanks for joining me. That was episode 15. I'm Nerd Dad. I appreciate all likes, comments, and please subscribe. I'm Nerd Dad, and I'm out.